Okay, before we begin, one time for the outfit. It is my niece's third birthday party and she's doing Fancy Nancy, and Fancy Nancy always has a tutu, and I had this tutu from Chandler's birthday party, and yeah. I'm also in my office, and like 9 times out of 10, I'm always in my office. I just want her to be perfect and pretty, and she's not. It's my office / my closet, and yeah. So one day, and I can't wait for that day for you guys. But it is October somehow. I have literally like blocked everything out since July. I can't believe we're here, but we are. And I just want to, spread some awareness, I guess, on this past year for me. I am an author. I read, I host a podcast, I'm on YouTube. There's not much I don't do yet. So I just, little 2025 so far. The beginning of 2025 wasn't bad. It was just different because Nick and I bought a house. I was surviving on the severance package from my previous job. I got a job at a bookstore. So yeah, it was interesting. It was just different. In a perfect world, everything would just stop and we could just figure out where this new life is and how we're going to navigate it, but that didn't happen. So I got a new job at a bookstore. We left our apartment and like officially moved into our new house. Nick and I, we celebrated our 4 years by it being 4 years. I'm pretty sure we just like laid down on the couch because like we were moving, I just, well, I don't know. I make friends the way I make friends, and I met Lynn, and I love Lynn, and she's still my BFF to this day. And I interviewed Tracy Livesay. I got to meet her, I think last July when I was stalking Kennedy Bryan. And she's great. I literally think of her as like one of my aunts. She's just so cool. And I know a cool aunt because I'm a cool aunt. I went to Franklin, Indiana to meet Alice Feeney with a friend. And what book was that? Beautiful Ugly. And it was interesting. My friend that I went with, she was like, I'm never reading her again. She's crazy, da-da-da. I mean, I didn't feel that way. And so my severance was running out. I was at a bookstore and I was at a restaurant. So I had 2 jobs. Bookstore, restaurant, part-time. I always, for like a long time, I would say like, how old am I? I don't understand. I would say like the last 8 to 10 years, I was always looking forward to working part-time. But when I was working part-time, I saved enough for like 3 years of rent, and that did not happen. But I know for a fact that working part-time is great for me. I do not enjoy the same thing every day with the same people. Like it's very, very mundane. It does not work with my brain, with my chemistry makeup. So I'm living the dream that I had 8 to 10 years ago, just not how it was supposed to come out, i.e. with millions of savings. And in February, oh my God, I popped off February at an event that I was invited to as an author. As an indie author, there are a lot of events that will be put on that you have to apply to, and then they look through and say yes, no, waitlist. And yeah, this was an event that they were like, hey Taylor, we saw your book and it's Black History Month and you're a Black author and you write Black characters, so we want to invite you with these other authors to be to kick off our library Black History Month. And I think I made like $75, and it was honestly amazing. I got to meet another author named Taylor, and I just love when I meet authors with the same name as me. And the rest of the authors were really cool. I got to meet this one guy whose name I don't remember, but he's in Cincinnati and he has his own bookshop, and I love and support him on TikTok. And there were other authors of different genres. I'm just like, greatness, you know? But I really, really enjoyed that I was invited versus applied and waiting and forgot I applied. So I get like a surprise email that says yes, no wait list. Our problem child, Joey De La Cruz, he turned 1. Yeah, we just can't keep up, but that's neither here nor there. And then I applied to be a guest on this interview or podcast, and they're called Introverted Ladies, and they interviewed me about Better Luck Next Time. And that was just interesting because usually I'm the interviewer. And it's so funny sometimes when I host my podcast with my friend Becca, like she's an interviewer as well, but when it's my podcast, I'm interviewing her and then she'll start interviewing me, and I'm just like, oh, I don't like, it's weird to like switch gears, and it's just funny because we're like combating but friendly, being the interviewer, and it literally makes me laugh. But I knew that I was the interviewee, so I just sat back, didn't ask, I think I did ask questions because, you know, I just can't, but that was fun to be on another podcast about writing and books and stuff. And they were British. I was in England virtually, so yes. I also interviewed Aunt Therese. I say she's my aunt too. I met her the same time as I met Tracy Livesay. They're just great authors, Black authors, Like me and Therese were like just going and going and going. I know we were over an hour, maybe close to 2, but that's what you do with fam. I started a mystery book club at another local bookstore, and yeah, I love mystery. My 2 genres in life are like mystery and romance, but I feel like there's always a romance book club and hardly ever a mystery book club. So I was so happy to be able to do that. I'm still doing that. And yeah, I'm really impressed with the people that come in because, like I said, 9 times out of 10, people are just talking about romance, fantasy, romantasy. There's hardly ever any mystery, like woohoos like myself. So I'm happy to find some other woohoos. Nothing happened in March besides Nick turning 35. And I love his birthday because he's like 2 years older than me. And I'm just like, I don't know. There's something about that little smidge of an age gap that really. And then April, my youngest niece turned 1. Ziggy turned 1. I got to meet Jasmine Guillory, and that was amazing. She is so beautiful, so funny. She's just so cute. I just love her. So that was really great for me. I started another part-time job at the gym, and this job is from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. 3 days a week. I open the gym, and it's at 5 a.m. And I roll up like 5 till, people are there. I wish I knew like when the first person was there, but I'll never be there that early because I don't even want to be there at 5 a.m. So, this is 2025 is interesting. Nick wanted out of teaching. He got out of teaching. And yeah, he got the call. He had like umpteen interviews, a million wait time, and then he got the call or email that they want him, and that was awesome. And that was in April. So yeah, he only had like barely a month as a kindergarten teacher of 9 years, and dipset. And then, so my youngest niece turned 1, and then my oldest niece turned 4 at the end of April, but her birthday party was in May. And that was also the same weekend that I was hosting my first reading retreat. So I missed her birthday party, and I promised myself I would never, ever, ever miss my niece's birthday parties. And I did. She didn't even miss me. I expected her to call me crying, and I would have to leave the reader's retreat and go tend to her, but she didn't. And she, like, when I saw her the next time, she was like, why weren't you there? And I was like, why did you like beg me to come? It's fine, but I'm never doing that again. Come hell or high water, absolutely not. At the end of May, I turned 33. This is what I do. People are like, how old are you? And I'd be like, And they're like, So 33. I'm like, yeah, duh. You don't get it? In June, my firstborn, Chandler Mulan Bridgeforth, turned 5. And I'm just like, how? How do I have a 5-year-old? Like the best looking dog mom ever. So Chandler turned 5, my Bookstagram, Instagram, Authorgram turned 5. I did my first giveaway. That was really cute. I took my nieces to a Indians game, and that was interesting because it was really, really hot. We had to park a million miles away. Everyone wants to be held. It was interesting. I don't know. We were in the lawn, so like the sun's just da-da-da. Ooh. But like it was fun, but ooh. And we took our writer's retreat to Nebraska. That was my first time in Nebraska. I mean, it was fine. I don't need to go back. And I feel like June 2025 was the decline of 2025 because that is when I told all of my brilliant ideas to the bookstore I was working at, and they loved them, obviously, because books is what I do. I know what I want, and I'm sure other people would want it. So I told all of my ideas, and when that happened, she was like, email them to me, and I was going to, but I just got sidetracked, and I didn't, thank God, but they held on to one event that I just have to be okay with. I'm not okay, but you know, it was one event versus all of my events. However, anyway, June was the decline. I got back from Nebraska. Nick left. We're in July. Nick left. He's gone for 2 months to train for his new job. And the first week Nick leaves, I have to go to Philadelphia for a wedding. Philadelphia was awesome. I enjoyed Philadelphia. That's not the point. I like get back, Nick's gone, and then I'm gone. So that was just a lot. That was just a lot for the first couple weeks of July, into June to July. And the first restaurant that I started at, I think in February or January, I quit because like their hours weren't enough for me. So I quit. I texted all the managers and I was like, hey, I don't think I said I'm sorry because I wasn't, but I was like, hey, can't work here. Thanks for the time. One of the managers said, who is this? You guys. And this is why I don't enjoy working, because they do not give a fuck about you. Ever. So yeah, he was like, who is this? And I was like, Taylor. Didn't get a text back. And I still get emails about being like the schedule for the week that I'm never on because I don't work there. And I get emails about getting someone's, taking someone's shift. So I'm just like, So I started working at a new restaurant in July, doing the training. At the first restaurant, I was a host. Hated it. At this restaurant, I'm like the carryout window. I definitely enjoy that more because it's like, hello, what do you want? Thank you. See you in 20 minutes. One of the things I find so funny about this job is when I say, do you want fries with that? I think that is so funny because like I grew up like, you don't want to be working at McDonald's, and here I am asking if they want fries with that. And it's kind of funny, and it's funny. It's weird, but funny. So yeah, July. Nick left, went to Philly, balled. I balled hard in Philly. And then new job at a new restaurant. August, I was fired from said bookstore from January. And yeah, just like the identity crisis of a lifetime that I'm still dealing with, honestly, because a writer gets fired from a bookstore. And like the week before, I was hosting book club, and we had a great time. We talked about the book, and I told them about the other books that we're going to be talking about like next month. And they told me, they were like, if you're hosting book club, I will be here every time. I don't even have to read the book. And, you know, that felt good. Like, if there's one thing I do and do well, it's books. And, you know, that felt good. And, you know, the next day, I was like, oh. So still dealing with that, grappling with that. I don't know if I'll ever not, because, oh my God. And, you know, it's, and so I was like dealing with that. Nick is not here. He won't be here. He won't be back for like another month. And I'm just like, what do I do? What am I doing? What have I done? It was a very, But you know, nothing ever stops. So I just had to keep going. And Azaria and I made it to 1 year on this channel, over 1,000 views. I interviewed my friend Claire for her latest novel, The New Order. It started with the Rising Order, and then it was a duology, ended with the New Order. Loved it. I would definitely recommend. It was very interesting. Make sure you're in the right mindset, because it kind of relates a little too hard to what we're currently going through. And like, I love the book, but I did have to like put it down and walk away a couple times, just because I was like. And then I took my nieces to the Indiana State Fair. Love, 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 love. And I also went with a friend of mine named Kins. So August. And then in September, God knows how long ago, but I was accepted as an attending author to Romance Con. In September was Romance Con. I went to Romance Con. July, there was some controversy around Romance Con. I didn't know what I was gonna expect when I got there. It turned out it was actually fine. And with the controversy started because Julie Soto wrote a HP fanfic novel that got traditionally published, and everyone was upset because Joanne is a douchebag, Romance Con and Julie Soto was like, okay, Julie's not coming. But then everyone turned on Romance Con and the management company called Mischief Managed. And I was just like, oh, because that's like a Harry Potter nod as well. And I was just intrigued by that level of, what's the word I'm looking for? That impact. I'm intrigued by that impact about Mischief Managed, because Romance Con was managed by Mischief Managed last year. That is my only hoopla about this year's controversy. They wanted Julie Soto out, she's out. And then they targeted Mischief Managed, but they didn't target them last year. That's my only understanding that I don't understand. And I will take no comments at this time. Thank you. Because it was either in September. Yeah, it had to be. I survived my first YouTube drag. Yeah, so the attending authors who still went to Romance Con, like I said, we had a great time. No one felt unsafe or unawares. And a friend of mine was like, oh my God, I had a good time. Thank you. Good night. And everyone just like dragged her online. And so I stepped in and I was like, leave her alone. That's my friend. And this lady was like, so then I went back and was like, and I think that was the end, because like, she did not have a leg to stand on. She just, I don't know why she entered me into the chat, because that was just, wow. Anyway, I survived it. And I'm very proud on how I handled it. So I'm working part-time job, so I don't have health insurance until Nick got this new job, and now I have health insurance. And I went to a new gynecologist, and she was really cool. And I'm just happy that I have health insurance, and I love Nicholas Allen, and I'm so thankful for him, even though of everything that we're going through. It's very different, very challenging, but I'm impressed with us. I'm impressed and proud. I'm impressed with me. But yeah, we're doing it. We're getting by. So when I was hosting book clubs at the last place that I got fired from. And then, like I said, identity crisis. I was like, where can I book, you know? And so I was looking up local bookstores, and turns out there was a new one right down the street from me, and we talked, and yeah, I host book club there now, and I'm so happy to be back. My middle niece, whose party I'm going to, who literally called me and was like, I want you to hold me. Her party isn't for like 3 hours. But she called me and was like, I want you to hold me. And I was like, babe, set a timer for 1 hour. I got to film this and I'll be over there. And yeah, and it's her party and it's Fancy Nancy and she's 3 now. And I am the best aunt in the world. Like, I will literally drop any and everything for those 3. I love them so much. And also, it's been 20 years since the first Twilight book came out. So it came out in 2005. I definitely hopped on the bandwagon in 2008. 2005, 6, 7, 8. Dang! I didn't hop on the bandwagon until all the books were out, which is good for me because I don't enjoy jumping on a series that's not finished. So that was just God's timing. Goddess's timing. So how we came here to this episode, to this wrap up year, I save things to my calendar all the time. And one of those things, I can't remember when I saved this to my calendar, but it said, how you live in heart. And also I learned how to do the new heart, and I hate you guys. Ew. A friend of mine literally, I was like, how do you do the new heart? And she was like this and like this. And I'm like, ugh. Anyway. So who knows how many moons ago I wrote in my planner, how you live in heart. And I know I added a photo, but I must have deleted it because it's not there anymore. But I know in my head, I was like, I will be this, this, and this. And I think the only thises that I have are an author and working part-time. But I know for a fact, I thought that I would be out of debt, credit card debt. Trying to think what else I would have thought. I just know it was credit card debt and I'm not. Credit card debt and probably like a certain amount in savings. Nope. Let's see. What are all the Ali's? Mentally, we're going to go out of 5. Mentally, I would say like a 3, 2.5. All my problems are problems due to the lack of money that I have or receive or need to spend. And like, honestly, if I didn't have to worry about money, I would just like be skipping around. I would still work because, you know, but if my little 2 to 3 part-time jobs and my little 72 cents every 2 to 3 months from my author sales, if that sustained me, I would be skipping around these parks. I would be writing. I would be hanging out with my nieces. I would be loving Nick. I would be with my dogs. I would be with my friends. I would be like in the communities that I love, like, but we're not there. And that's life. And all I have to say is I'm just thankful for the people, places, and things that for however long gets me out of my head and into the love, I guess, that we share with each other. Because that is literally like the only thing that gets me by. Sometimes it does not last forever. And even if I'm like enjoying it, you know, the bad thoughts will come, blah, blah, blah. But like, however, so July, I was like busting ass on my manuscript, You Promise, because it's going to come out in April. And then August hit and I never touched it again. And then September, it was very scattered, but I got through my edits from my editor, and starting Monday, what is Monday? The 5th? Starting Monday the 5th, I will be back on my bullshit with this manuscript, come hell or high water, because she's coming. I need to start book 2. I want to get it out to ARC readers. And that's the hard part. Because like for me, I really need to be in, everything needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be at least 4 stars for me to be able to sit down, do the job, get ahead. And you know, with my track record. So you know, that's just what I'm going to literally focus on all month. If I have to put on blinders, I will. If you don't see me, you won't. But that is literally my priority in the month of October, as well as our Halloween party.